Welcome to 30 Days of Awakening. This is day 17, and today I'd like to talk about contrast and state of being. What I mean by contrast, what I'm talking about is the contrast of how not having the experience we want to have can be a great teacher to help us create the experience we want to have. The contrast of those things, you know. We're doing things right, we're doing things right, we're doing things right. We forget about what it feels like to go off track a bit. Ooh, that doesn't feel good. Contrast. That's a contrast. Bring it back to there. You know, contrast is a great teacher of when we're in alignment and when we're not. And for me, yesterday was a day that I scheduled pretty close to every single waking moment having somebody in my presence, whether it's a client or a friend or my daughter. And I didn't take time, and I felt, even felt in the morning, I felt my nose was runny, I was just kind of off, a little achy, just not vibrating, you know, not present to myself as present, which then kind of opens up and makes peace with all that, and it kind of literally changes that state of being of that. Sometimes that morning funk or that tired, that it's like just not present to my thoughts yet, and I'm walking around and they're just kind of doing their thing. I'm not quite awake. You know, I didn't yesterday get around that. And so I did take a little time here and there, like I was standing, you know, like standing in the bathroom or in the kitchen as I was getting something and just becoming present into my thoughts for a moment. And that pretty much brought me to just a place of, ooh, I'm a little off kilter energetically. And I felt, even though I was aware and I did have waking up moments throughout the day yesterday, I definitely would say that my state of being yesterday was very different from it is today, what it is this morning, what it was today. I took a decent amount of time today and really, deep meditation, deep gratitude work, a lot of playful visualizing. I've got my next couple hours really laid out in a way that I'm excited about. I did yoga, I did some exercise this morning after I got my daughter off. And I just feel such contrast to my day beginning from here versus how my day started off yesterday. And I can say that as far as ego goes, you know, that's really the it's really a sneaky bugger. And for me, one of the most powerful tools of my ego is my schedule. And I allow myself to, I create a schedule that's so busy and so overwhelming that I don't always leave time for myself to do what I need to do, what I feel right now are the practices that take my state of being, no matter where it is, and bring it to a state of peace with whatever's come up, able to be really present with whomever I'm with. I know that my ego doesn't like to always allow me to have that time, because it survives on me not being at peace with everything. And so as I'm kind of going off on a tangent on that, I will just say though that it is very interesting for me how this awakening has it keeps going. It's like once you start, I think, sorry, you've started. You're on a quest to pulling out of the matrix and unplugging. And I feel every time that I deepen in, every time I unlock something that was a blockage in me. I feel more awareness of myself as awareness. It's like each time I become more and more attuned. So it's like I'm walking around my house and I'll notice like all of my thoughts for like an hour. I'll just be walking and working, and it's literally, it's not like a single thought will go by unconscious. And then sometimes I'll have times where I will go hours. Mostly it'll be the other. I'll go the other direction. But I'm having more and more openness in my mind, where I'm just seeing everything I'm thinking, and strangely egoically, I can feel my ego wanting to stop that. Like, okay, enough. Let's not pay attention to our thoughts, and that doesn't work. Just keep looking, and so I'm just making peace with it, and I'm thankful for that, because with that comes this. There's a sensation to that presence, which is a better vibrational frequency, and which, let me tie that back into what I'm saying now. This, that presence to myself as presence changes my vibrational frequency, or my state of being, or the that thing when somebody walks in the room and you just look at them and you're like, wow, they're so shiny. Like there's a vibe about them. You may not be able to say, well, it's like, I've noticed their hair looks great, they have a smell. Like you could try to list the things you think are interesting about them, but it's going to be on a much deeper level of awareness. That when people are vibrating at an awareness of themselves as awareness, in that state of being, in that state of vibrating, as opposed to somebody who walks in the room, biting their nails, stressed out, pacing back and forth, making noises. Like, who, when you go to a party, do you want to talk to? We gravitate to the person that's got something that you may want. Like, wow, what do they have? Like, something so magnetic and vibrating. That's state of being. And I think about state of being as if the same way they talk about with airplanes. You put your oxygen mask on first, and then put on everybody else's. For me, that's what my morning routine for me is, my putting on the oxygen mask first, in a plane crash. It's me getting my vibrational frequency, getting to this open and playful place where everything that comes in feels playful as opposed to heavy and cumbersome. That's my oxygen mask, and it's in the morning, and I want to vibrate in that frequency as much as I can throughout the day, because it's a better life. It's a better experience than the other one, and contrast teaches me all the time. I'll know this. I'll say this today, and then if my life continues to follow this pattern, and I'm even going to break that limiting belief just by calling it out. My life pattern has been that I'll be able to even say this awareness, and then still slip back tomorrow and not meditate in the morning and do my thing and get all, like I have had experiences of that where I know what I need to do, and I still don't always do it. And then the pain of the not doing it, and the experience is not as good. It's like contrast. It goes, oh, here we go. So it's kind of like we're going, love, bliss, aligning with love and bliss, tuned in. I'm doing it. All I need to do is keep doing it. What am I doing? What am I doing? It's like there's this. It's like we don't necessarily just, once we figure out what we know we need to do, just stay right in that course. It's like we have to keep testing to see if it's true, and that's our ego still trying to survive in this stream of love and peace. The ego is restless. The ego is searching for, is searching to be important, is searching to exist, and searching to not die all at the same time, and that's okay, and so. For me, there's a stage of the contrast, like I feel free, I feel open. And then there's a tendency to, when I don't do what I need to do, to not only feel the disturbance energetically of that experience, But then I have a tendency to also punish myself for not fixing, not being better than going off track. So there can be this double whammy here of the negative experience and then beating yourself up for allowing yourself to have that negative experience. And so that's where this allowance, acceptance, it's okay. It's okay to feel everything. It's a miracle to see anything. It's really, literally, I mean, yeah. We can heal ourselves, and I just want to vibrate here. And when I'm not vibrating here, I'm going to be okay with that I went off track. That's what my commitment to myself. And I'm going to keep allowing the universe to bring me back on track. So that's my message. Contrast and state of being. Put your oxygen mask on first by taking care of your vibrational frequency first. Okay? Have a great day.